Recent reports have suggested that the new possible manager for Arsenal coming next season will be Mikel Arteta. However, we're not here to debunk those rumors. We are here to give you the negatives and the positive of this potential appointment. What's going on, guys? ¿Cómo están? Balis here and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Just like always, please remember that our mission here is to bring you football content without any of that bullcrap bias that we see on stuff like ESPN FC. So just to start off the video right, I want to give you my opinion on this appointment, of this potential appointment, because it's not certain. It seems likely, but it isn't anything set on stone. So first of all, I just gotta say that this, for me, is the worst possible decision for Arsenal Football Club. I don't understand why would they go with this guy. Like, there's absolutely nothing that makes me think he's a good move, a good manager for this club at this current moment in time. In this video, we're going to start off talking about the negatives and then about the positives. So this is like part one to this video. And first of all, the first big negative that I want to say out there is obviously that he has absolutely zero experience in the managerial side of things. He has been second fiddle to Pep Guardiola for like 2-3 years now, I think. He has been he has been working under him for quite some time now, and he has getting some philosophy or some teaching lessons, perhaps. I don't know what happens when you're second fiddle to somebody as a manager. Are you just like taking notes or stuff like that? He has been learning, but I don't think that he's ready just yet. Like, if you ever go to take a test or whatever, you'll learn for that test, but after that, you just don't suddenly become like if you work to be a doctor, you don't take a test to be a doctor and then you are a doctor. You need to like work for like years and years and years. And it just makes absolutely no sense why he would go at this current moment to Arsenal. Not only for the club side of things, but him as a person. Like, he can ruin his career by going to Arsenal and just flopping. If he flops right now, he will end up like in a club in Scotland. And I'm not talking about Rangers or Celtic. I'm talking even under that. So it's really, really surprising he's actually interested in the job. If I was him, I'd obviously be interested, but I wouldn't take the chance right now. I wouldn't take it because it's too risky. It's too high. The risk is way up here, and I don't want to be that guy to take the risk, more especially knowing that I don't have enough experience to take the job. I'm just going to put another example out there. Let's say you have an esports team, you know, like all Koreans that are so good playing Dota, League of Legends, Overwatch, or whatever. Let's say you have a big tournament or whatsoever, I don't know what they do in those stuff, and one of your teammates gets injured or can't go, you know? You're not gonna take somebody who is playing Overwatch who is like a level 5, you know? You're not gonna take him. It makes absolutely no sense. He's like a noob. He doesn't know anything. Why are you gonna take him? He may have potential, he may be very, very intelligent, but he's not gonna be ready to play at the highest elitist level right just now. Like, he's not gonna be able to do that. So it's the same thing with here. Why would you take Arteta? He knows his stuff. He's intelligent. I know he has potential, but you're not going to put him out there to become the next Arsene Wenger in Arsenal. Makes absolutely no sense. So next up, my next big reason is hard to explain, but I'll try to do my best. The thing is that I'm saying that he has like some sort of bias for Arsenal, but it's not like bias. Bias is not the word, but I'll try to explain myself. So I'm going to start off by saying that, for instance, he has a huge history with Arsenal. He has been an ex-player, so he certainly knows how things work behind the scenes. And that's a very good thing. That's something we'll talk in the positive side of things. But I think it's also a negative because it means that he will be more easily controlled per se, or he would just have not enough keen eye to do the job. What I'm trying to say is that, for instance, Arsenal need to rebuild. He will need to try and kick players out. He will need to get rid of so many players. There are so many dead wood currently at Arsenal side, which is kind of like sorry. I feel sorry for them because it's a huge job. They need to get rid of so many players. So, for instance, right away, I think there are two players they need to get rid of. I think it's Danny Welbeck and, for instance, Laurent Koscielny. Laurent Koscielny and Danny Welbeck have huge history in Arsenal. They have done amazing things for the club, more especially Koscielny. But Koscielny, like, he needs to leave. Like, he's really been playing bad. And I think that now his injury could be kind of like kind of like looked bad. It's not like ethical to kick him out when he has an injury, but he needs to go. And I don't think that, for instance, Arteta will be able to say, okay, you need to leave, because he has that history with Arsenal, both the manager Arteta and also the player Koscielny. So he's not going to kick him out the door when he needs to be kicked out the door. If you bring somebody like Luis Enrique or Carlo Ancelotti to this side, they're not going to care because there is no history behind them. They won't care about the past or the present. They would just grab the player and tell him, move somewhere else, because here, I don't need you. You are not working for me. And that's the thing that Arteta, I think, is not going to be able to do that, because once he's like more younger, he's going to be more influenced by the hierarchy of the club, but he's also has that past experience with Arsenal, that past history. And he will feel the same way for the players. When somebody, like I said, Luis Enrique and Carlo Ancelotti won't do that, won't have that extra bias with the club. So after this, there really isn't any more negatives I need to talk about, because I think these two are like super huge. Like, I mean, there are more positives than negatives, surely, but we have to take into account how big these negatives are. Like, I mean, experience and having that thing that I told you, bias, that won't let him do his job properly. I think those are huge negatives that can really hurt Arteta if he actually takes the job. And I think that those two overweigh the positives, which I'm going to talk about them right now. So the very first positive I think that comes into account if Arsenal decides to sign Mikel Arteta as a new manager is that he has that past experience with the club. I know I just said it was a negative, but it can also work as a positive. So if we take a look at his past experience, he will know how Arsenal plays. He will try to keep that same identity, something that, for instance, if you bring Ancelotti, Maximiliano Allegri, Simeone, or whatsoever, they're not gonna keep that. You know, they're not gonna keep that presence of like fast attacking football that people in Arsenal like, that the fans really enjoy. They don't have that obligation to do that. But Mikel Arteta, who knows the club, who has played there before, he will try to keep that. And I think that's very important for the hierarchy or the people in charge of Arsenal, because they want to keep remaining as the Arsenal, the team who plays good, who looks nice. I think they want to really keep that. So I think that in that way, Mikel Arteta is a positive for them. Moreover, I gotta say that by having that past experience with the club, he will know how the board will understand. I think their relationship will be much better than, for instance, between, like I said, Luis Enrique and, for instance, the board. It won't work as nice. But also, once again, we have to mention that he will be highly manipulated. Perhaps they will give him less money for the transfer window. Perhaps they will give him less resources. That could be also a very bad thing, but it can also be a positive, like I said, because their relationship could be good, but it's also much more limited. The other big thing I think is a positive, not exactly for the fans or whatsoever, but once again for the board that we have to analyze, is that he's very young. He has huge potential. He is, I think, a little bit younger, more younger than when Arsenal Wenger came into the side. And I think that this is just a huge like green light for the board, because in my opinion, I think they want to create another Arsene Wenger. And I'm just like, I don't think that's the right way to go. Football doesn't work anymore. So I'm just quite on the fence on this one. But I would see why the board will like to take a young manager. They want to keep him for a very long time. And if that's their plan, which I don't agree with, they're in a very good right direction to doing that, because he's young, he has that past history and everything. But like I said, once again, I don't think that's how football works anymore, and really makes me worried, because you can no longer keep a manager for more than 6 years. Like, that's max. That 6 years is like the most. Pep Guardiola just signed another extension with Manchester City, which is quite surprising, but I don't think it's going to take 7 years at Manchester City. There's no way he's going to be there that long. And neither will Arteta here at Arsenal if he actually signs. So it's just like, so my mind is really working around trying to understand Arsenal's point of view, but once again, I try to give you the positives, but I just keep going back to the negative. He has no experience. Why would you keep him? Why do we even sign him to the first, for fuck's sake? And the final thing I can think of is that he will have like an understanding with the players, and that can take you a very long way if you try to progress the squad like they want to. They want to keep them for a very long time. I think he will be very good with young players, because he was a player as well. He wasn't the best, but he was very intelligent and well respected. So I think that could come into account. But just to finish off, just overall, do you think he's actually a good move? If you think it's a good move, tell me down below, because I really want to hear you. I want to hear your arguments. I want to hear what you think and why he could be a good manager for this Arsenal team. Because in my opinion, Arteta is nowhere near the profile of manager that they currently need. So hopefully you have enjoyed this video. Please remember to drop us a like and also to leave us a subscribe, turn on the bell notification icon, and follow us on all other social media to keep up to date. See you in the next one. Take care. Ciao.